Hello, and thank you for having me here today. It is a great honor to be part of Green Impact Week. Huge shout out to Sustainary and all of their partners for facilitating this amazing event I'm very happy to be a part of. So I am here today to speak to you about something that myself and my organization passionately believe in, and that is of course, youth contribution and leadership and SDGs with AIESEC. Today, there are 1.8 billion people in the world between the ages of 18 and 24. With a world population of 7.9 billion people, that translates to 23% of the planet. That is almost a quarter of the entire population. This is the largest youth generation in history. This is the largest group of bright young minds, the most connected one, and of course the most resourceful. So what are we doing as institutions, as leaders, as organizations, as companies to support their growth, their ideas, and their future? Well, at AIESEC, we have a few ideas how to do that. So in order to speak to you about how this all works, it makes sense to first begin with how it all started. So it all started after the Second World War, when a group of young people, students, just like yourselves, some of you here, or perhaps like you at home watching this, they got together and saw all of the atrocities that had happened in the World War a few years back. And they decided they had to do something about it. They were founders from 7 countries, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, France, the Netherlands, Norway, and Sweden. And this took place in 1948. They had seen that the war had taken over 55 million lives, injured 35 million people, and displaced and disappeared about 3 million. So what did this amazing young group of people thought? Well, they thought, we are not going to allow this to happen again. We will form an organization that will strive for peace and fulfillment of humankind. This became our why, and this drives everything we do in our organization. So how do we do that? Well, in AIESEC, we place our confidence in youth. We truly believe that youth is the key to unlocking a better future. And we believe, of course, that leadership is the main skill with which we can achieve this. And it can, of course, be developed in absolutely everyone. Just like some believe that everyone can sing, we believe everyone can do leadership. So what do we do? Well, we enable young people to develop their leadership through practical experiences in challenging environments. We do this through cross-cultural exchanges around the world and create opportunities for these young people to prosper. Another part of what we offer for young people is the inner and outer journey. So when they join us, we create personal goals with them. We believe that a huge part of developing and learning is actually reflecting on one's actions and looking inwards. So for the inner journey, we have reflecting on their experience, understanding what drives their motivation, their actions, understanding their personal values, and of course, hopefully reinventing themselves, right, bettering themselves. For the outer journey, we look at the individual's responsibilities and goals. We also put them in a challenging role and a challenging environment for them to develop. And they will interact with multiple stakeholders, create a professional background, and that will help their career. And also, we integrate them in this amazing community and support system in AIESEC. So this is our AIESEC way. It is driven by the model called the Golden Circle. And this has been theorized by leadership expert Simon Sinek. Some of you here might have heard of him. He's done amazing TED Talks. Definitely check him out at home. So we have at the core the why. What is our cause? What do we believe in? Then in the middle layer, we have our how. So what is our method, right? How do we achieve our why? And in the outer layer, we have our what. What is it that we offer? And of course, what do we do to achieve our why? So for our what, I want to ask you all, can you imagine what happens to the world when we develop and engage every young person? This is the question that drives us as we strive for peace and fulfillment of humankind. As an organization, we are global, independent, non-political, not-for-profit, and youth-run. We do not discriminate on any of the bases listed. And these are our core values. As you see here, striving for excellence, we want people to strive to better themselves, to become better versions of themselves, demonstrating integrity, being accountable for one's actions, having responsibility, activating leadership, so taking initiative and activating leadership in other people as well, giving them, perhaps a platform to do so, or perhaps a talk or a presentation in which they can flourish. Enjoying participation, we strongly believe in this one. We have an amazing culture at AIESEC where we have these dances called roll calls, and we always encourage people to just get out of their comfort zone and step up and join us in a wild dance. Living diversity, which can also be understood as appreciating inclusiveness, and of course, acting sustainably. So for the how and for the leaders we develop, we have these 4 attributes that we want to develop in every member or exchange participant that joins us. We want them to become self-aware, so to look inwards and understand what drives them, all of the values, their strengths and weaknesses. The next one is empowering others, so cheering on someone that maybe is struggling with something, or communicating effectively in a community and just spreading positivity, being there for others. World citizen, someone that believes in their ability to actually change the world and is also up to date with today's global issues and news. And solution-oriented, which is, of course, to adapt and show resilience and find solutions no matter the situation one finds themselves in. So for our impact worldwide, you can see here that we have 30,000 members worldwide. It's continuously growing, so perhaps the number is even higher now. We are present in over 110 countries and territories, so very global. Over 7,000 partner organizations, and we have delivered over 100,000 experiences last year. These are some of our partners. As you can see, perhaps tons of names that you recognize. We try to create long-lasting partnerships and relationships with these companies and institutions. So our membership experience. We have over 500 conferences annually. All of these amazing people in AIESEC that are passionate about self-development and want to better the world get together, and they have amazing workshops about leadership, about what drives people, issues of the world, SDGs, absolutely anything, you name it. There are conferences that I have attended myself where you learn how to train other people, how to empathize with your team, perhaps how to manage a crowd or your team as well, public speaking, product pitching, everything. It's absolutely wonderful. It's packed with amazing sessions, and of course also the evening parties and dances. So you can see here pictures of all of these people gathering. I'm in one of them. And again, an example of a few conferences. This one on the right side top is in Turkey. It was called Euro Expo, and I was there right when the pandemic began. So we have been around for 70 years now, and we are proud to have been making a difference in all of our members' lives. I always get a bit emotional when I look at these pictures because it also reminds me of all the amazing experiences and moments I have been through. And of course, we also have tons of big events that we organize in partnership with, for example, the United Nations. So we have had Youth Speak Forum a few years back, where we invited top heads of several industries to have important, meaningful discussions as part of a panel. So we have been activating this youth leadership since 1948. We have been around for a while. If you want to, of course, find out more about this, you can either check AIESEC.dk, which is, of course, the Danish website, or AIESEC.org, which is the global one. So to move forward and talk to you about youth and sustainable development goals, we need to talk about the programs that we have at AIESEC. The one listed here is Global Volunteer. So this is a program where we talk to organizations, institutions, schools, universities, and we partner with them to bring youth over and create opportunities for them so they can work with sustainable development goals. These are always very passionate people who want to make a difference in the world. So through this Global Volunteer Program, they get to experience new cultures, get exposed to all of these amazing new perspectives. Perhaps they might even get a culture shock because they travel from the other corner of the world to have these experiences. It's very windy here. And they get to make an impact. So they work with all these communities that are perhaps in dire need of change or support. And they get to challenge themselves. we have countless stories where people's lives were just changed by going and having even a 2-month experience just to see what is out there in the world and how other people live and what they go through every day changes one. These are our value propositions and benefits for youth, of course. So they get to have a cross-cultural experience where they get to develop themselves and work with diverse projects related to the SDGs. Of course, we support them in all of this. We have logistics support, so they help them, with logistics and visa and plane tickets, perhaps accommodation, everything that they will need to feel safe in the country and get integrated there. We make a clear job description with them, so they understand what their tasks are. We make sure that they have safe living conditions. And we make sure that they have a learning experience. So they get to do something that perhaps they haven't done before, and they get to, learn a new skill or learn how to deal with people. So we enable them to live an experience which will help shape them, mobilize them, and like-minded organizations to connect and achieve SDGs. And of course, we empower them to become more employable because they'll have this experience and develop themselves professionally as well. And of course, every project is aligned with the SDGs, with Global Volunteer. Most of you know these ones, so I'm gonna skip this one. And we also have this amazing initiative to activate youth towards achieving these goals. It is called Youth for Global Goals. And of course, the direction is the same one as United Nations SDGs. If you want to help us reach this goal by 2030, do reach out to us and partner with us. We are always looking for partnerships. Overall, we have made over 1 million plus people aware of the SDGs, the various projects and communities, over 100,000 people understanding how to contribute, and over 50,000 people and experiences that where youth have acted upon the SDGs. So as you can see here, you can volunteer for any of them. It could be economic growth, it could be gender equality, sustainable practices, climate action. We try and have a diverse array so that we can cover all of them. It is a hard mission sometimes, but we really do try. So this is a quote from one of the volunteers. Brenda, she volunteered in Peru, and she says, "I returned to my country with my soul completely grateful and full for having had the opportunity to share such unforgettable moments. A part of my heart stays at the school I volunteered in forever." We have so many volunteers that say they are still in touch with all of the kids they work with, or perhaps the communities or the family that has hosted them. And they keep in touch on Facebook or WhatsApp and all of these platforms. And even years after just being there for maybe 2 months or 6 months. Another program that we have is Global Talent, which to set it apart from Global Volunteer is a program that is paid, so it is an employment experience. So for Global Talent, we aim for young people to have a professional career development in a global setting. And we promise the companies that they can hire with ease because we facilitate this process through sourcing the international talent after creating a job description that fits what they need perfectly, and allowing the applicants to apply from all over the world. And then we create a shortlist for them, which we deliver, and they can pick perhaps a smaller number that they can interview, and it facilitates this process so much. Of course, also support with formalities, the same as with Global Volunteer, everything related to visa and logistics, work permit, of course, CPR, Danish bank account. We help the exchange participants coming here to integrate themselves in the society. And social integration. We provide a social environment. We invite the exchange participant over to have events with us, or even when we meet the ones that are on the board to have also parties with us, or social outings, so they feel they have a community here that they belong to. So for our value proposition and benefits for global talent, for organizations, we say that you can hire international talent to meet your business needs. You gain a global perspective. You can hire with ease, and you have our support, and this will boost your work culture as well, because you are bringing someone from the outside with completely different perspective, perhaps completely different processes, and an outside-the-box thinking. So to summarize this part, these are the programs that we offer here in Denmark. There are other programs available in other countries, such as Global Teacher and Global Entrepreneur. So yeah, you can see in more detail here the duration, and also that Global Volunteer is normally for non-governmental organizations, and Global Talent is for startups and small to medium enterprises. So I want to ask you all, what do you think happens when young leaders have a voice? Well, you all know this amazing young lady, Greta Thunberg. She has led an entire movement, basically just starting alone and protesting in front of the parliament, because she has seen where the world is heading, and that if we don't do something, if we don't act, things are going to be looking really bad in just a few years. So we must mobilize to fight and against the system, and pressure them to act more sustainably, to have a better future together. There's even an effect that was created. It's called the Greta effect, where we have seen that around the world, people have become more aware of climate change issues and more eager to act as well. And that is wonderful. One of her quotes, she says, "I have learned you are never too small to make a difference." And of course, this young lady, whom you hopefully also recognize, she has said that when the whole world is silent, even one voice becomes powerful. So this is, and of course, she is now leading talks all around the world to fight for education and young girls and equality. So this is what happens when we give young leaders a voice. They just run around all over the place and change the world. It's amazing. So what is the impact, then, I ask you, of not involving youth in leadership? Well, one only needs to look at the world today to figure that one out. These are some of the global concerns. Of course, poverty, hunger, global terrorism, climate change. There's ongoing wars at all times. Armed conflicts, economic instability, population growth, spread of diseases, energy scarcity, nuclear weapons. Of course, it's not listed here, but it goes on and on. Gender inequality, tons of other climate change issues. So we need young leaders. We need these bright minds to be encouraged, to have a support system, to go out there in the world and make change, because it hasn't been working that well so far without including them. and they have a different perspective. They are passionate. They want to make a difference. So we should focus on nurturing these people, and we should work together with them to facilitate movements all over the world and to teach us all what we have to look forward to and how to have this better future. It seems rather unproductive to not include basically a quarter of the population in making decisions that affect all of us. So to go back to the question that I asked you earlier, can you imagine what happens to the world when we engage and develop every young person? Thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. May you speak a bit louder, please?
Sorry.
Oh, you're just getting a microphone. Perfect.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I would like to offer you guys a partnership. We're building a new social network for, basically it's built by kids. I'm the oldest. I'm not a kid, but it's for young people, by young people. And we're working together with youth organizations on the UNESCO and like AIESEC and different universities. So I would just give you my contact info and
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That I'm tremendously happy to hear. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can reach out to me over there. Yeah, and we can also talk after. Thank you. Perhaps if there's any questions at home or. Oh, good. All right. Thank you so much for today. Enjoy the other sessions.